Hello, comrades and cadres, and this is the Engelsist here. And today I'm here with my guest, Red Fenian Punk, to talk about what happened on 1972, January 30th, Bloody Sunday. Even this far on, there's been no justice for it, no compensation, no justice to any of the families, and we still stand here and um, I, I won't say nothing has changed in the struggle because, in fairness, well, we don't see as many people dying as we did in the 70s, but not much progress has been made. Stormont's still frozen after this many years because Sinn Féin would have gotten a majority, and there would have been a referendum, and there has just been absolutely no justice um, in this situation, and furthermore in the general struggle for Irish liberation from above to below. Obviously, a lot of people are doing activism.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. One soldier. It took him about 50 years for anyone to be charged. One was charged, and then he got off anyway. So, and were we surprised? Almost as
Absolutely
I was
fucking
almost
not.
as it's yeah. I mean, I was almost as shocked when I saw the sun rise the following morning, or when I stood out in the rain and got wet. I mean, I was that's how shocked I was. That's how surprised I was.
Any
Not at all.
excuse, any excuses that people have for this, like they tried I believe in Canada, they tried a 90-year-old former concentration camp operator. You're
Mm.
never too old to face justice.
No,
For
no.
what you did whilst you were in your right, if you're in the military, that means that you have passed a certain amount of physical and mental inspections to be able to be there. You're in
Yeah,
your right mind, you did what you did, and you
yeah.
face justice for what you did.
Hmm. Um,
And that would be the same if you went to, yeah, let's say that it was World War II or Korea. If that happened, you committed a war crime and then you get tried for it. But because it's in a civil matter and because the machine of the British Empire was behind it and because it's so long ago, in very, very much in living memory for people, very much so,
oh, very much so. Yes.
like it's allowed to pass. And if a 90-year-old concentration camp operator can get tried, why would it be any different for the British military?
the the that's a rhetorical question, of course, but of course the answer being he wasn't one of ours. He was somebody we can make an example of, and whereas Soldier F or any of those other bastards, they're our boys, in the eyes of British imperialists. I mean, the people were using that same excuse for not not persecuting people like Klaus Barbie in the 80s when he was tried for war crimes as an old man. They were saying, "Oh, he's too old, leave him alone." The people who were saying that were the same people who'd like to do little big salutes with their right arms. The type the
Uh,
Nazis.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
in a world, imagine in a world where, let's say, historically, the reformers from the two staters from the original IRA uprising, were backed and more radical and backed by a higher power, and they
yeah,
beat Britain in a war. All of them would be put to the sword, and all of them would be dead.
oh
But
yeah,
because Britain still has massive power, none of them there are so many people who will never face justice for what they've done.
no, not at all.
I
No,
I f
it's
I forget who it is, but there was, there was a specific crew in the Provos who did some pretty nasty work, and it turns out one of the people who was organising that was a British spy the entire time whilst committing those
yeah.
crimes.
You find that a lot, actually. The worst crimes by a resistance organization of any kind usually instigated by agent provocateurs. I mean, that's not to make excuses for that. I mean, they still when people going along with it and doing these things, but it's usually at the
Yeah,
behest of police spies. I mean, the French resistance that have like Gestapo or Abwehr spies doing it, and the same with all these other groups
yeah.
that they were opposed to Nazi occupation. And it was very much the
This doesn't
same.
ex
with Ireland.
mm. Yeah, this doesn't excuse any of the people who followed those orders and committed
No,
crimes
no, of
because they
course
didn't
not.
know. They thought that they were doing it for the right reasons. But
Yeah,
you can have all the best intentions in the world and still do awful things.
indeed. Yeah, absolutely. That's the
And
tragedy of war.
and I won't say that this was in all cases. There were some cases which were directly ordered by people who were not spies with the British. That's war,
Mhm.
and in fairness, that is militia activity. Whether you're a good
Yeah,
militia or a bad militia, once again, whether you're the CNT Fae or you're the Taliban, that happens.
yeah, yeah,
Whether you have the best or worst intentions.
indeed. Yeah, always.
But I'd like to say that I hope the people who died on that day are uh, it, their families are at peace as much as they can be.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that they've been able to heal from the process as much as they can, and I hope that
yeah. I mean, it's
the same as World War II. I hope that we
yeah, I
can
mean,
all
it's
say never again.
yeah, never again. I mean, it's ultimately the bottom line. We're still in capitalism, so it's going to keep happening again while capitalism exists, and that's the problem. But I mean, the people I don't know any of the families offhand, but I've met people from Derry, and I think a lot of them have known people who lost relatives on that day, and it's the wounds are still there. I mean, Jesus, even the wounds of the famine were all affected by that so-called famine 108,
Mm.
170, 80 years ago. That's still a thing. So
I mean,
this
it
is
was a
within living
famine,
memory.
just a
So of course it's
man-made
going to
one.
be. Sorry.
It was a famine, just a man-made one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's all. Just a year, well, 6 months before that, there was Ballymurphy in Belfast. That was
Yeah.
barely talked about. They covered that one up much better, and that's another one
Yeah.
to always remember. These people can never be. We can never forget this kind of stuff. I mean, people keep saying, Brits love Brit. The tan splainers, as we call them. They'll always go, oh, let it go, give it a rest, and they want the nice Irish, the docile Paddy, the dancing leprechaun. TV presenters like Terry Wogan. Hello there, no professional Paddy. They don't want people bringing up stuff like that, and they don't like it when we
Mm.
speak the mother tongue. So
Yes, and when
we
and
need to
when
do that
people
all the more. Yeah,
peacefully try and pursue that, such as
mhm,
in Stormont, and try and go to the
yeah,
ballot, and when in the rare occasion that you do succeed, they shut down the entire government so that there can't be a democratic process.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting how the tables turn, isn't it?
It is. Was it
This
Arlene
is
Foster was saying, if you keep feeding crocodiles, they come back for more. So the Irish language
I
activists have often dressed up in crocodile costumes, which I thought was poetically beautiful.
yeah.
So yeah,
There's
They-
what I think is nice about the 21st century is that I think we have an age of accountability more than other
yes.
previous eras.
I mean,
I don't think we would ever see Epstein Gate happen
no,
like it did.
no,
I don't think we would ever see, the Epstein files. We'd never see Prince Andrew put away. Once again, there was a actual Nazi king, like the former
mm,
Queen's uncle was an actual Nazi collaborator and got to live out his life
yeah,
peacefully.
58. Yeah, it's the
Yes,
one. And the downside, of course, is I mean, AI is now corrupting things, so they can cover things up again. So that's going to be the this
but
this this timeline is perhaps a short-lived one, but we have to make the most of it where we can.
I the thing is that I think it very much I think it's been easy to do cover-ups this entire time.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think
Yeah,
AI will make it any easier because people will use other channels. They won't use
aye,
Google.
that's true.
They'll
That
use
is true.
different things, like let's just say that oh God, what was his name? The one who was trapped in the embassy who did the breaking of war crimes in Afghanistan. Oh,
Uh,
Not Snowden, the other one.
oh,
Is that
Craig. Is it?
no.
Oh, what
God.
was his name? I think it's the one
Julian Assange.
Julian Assange. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But let's just say that Julian Assange wasn't putting his evidence directly through fucking Google Docs.
yeah,
There are ways to leak information to the press or the media or online that are
yeah,
verifiable and not, you know, just able to be passed off as AI.
yeah, yeah,
And that will always be the case.
yeah.
Everything digital leaves a trail.
The problem with AI, the same as general misinformation, is we are groomed in the education system to not question and to not think critically. And
Being
if you're a man, you're groomed to be a aggressive, abusive,
mm,
violent bastard, and if you're a woman, you're groomed to be the person who covers up male violence and stuff. And docile
and
to it. But
oh
we,
yes,
we don't all do that, thankfully. You know,
I
so anyway. Bloody
it,
Sunday was a result of this kind of thing. It was a crime. It was a war crime, a crime against humanity. The liberals made it into the terrorists have made a killing. You've given them what they want. Nobody wanted that.
mm,
They wanted support, yes, but they didn't want to see 14 people gunned down by occupying forces so they could gain. I mean, that's the way they twist it to demonize the other side. Even if you're a liberal, they do that, like the
it's the
IRA
same.
and the INLA and groups like that. The INLA didn't exist until a couple of years later, but you know what I mean. The same principle.
Were the officials around or were they disbanded
The
at this
officials,
time?
yeah, they were big in Derry. The
Yes,
officials, the cities. The
they were still
INLA broke
around
away in
for a bit.
'64. Sorry, talking over you.
No, no, it's fine. I just wanted to. I was just remembering the timeline.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and you know, like this is the case. We see justifications for all of this, and we see this, and I think there's a massive parallel to ICE. There is a gigantic
oh yeah,
parallel between
yeah,
loyalist paramilitaries and ICE.
sure.
That's
I was
especially given the recent assassination of a man who was illegally carrying a firearm, an
oh yeah.
assassination of a woman who was minding her business in a car, and millions of brown people being put into detention centers.
Yeah, we can't count how many of them have died unlawfully in those fucking hellholes. I mean, they're concentration camps to all
There
intents and
was
purposes.
they put in the fact that kids could be separated from their parents in detention centers under Biden, and that was under
It
Biden. Think what
was all
Trump has
right then,
done.
you see. Yeah.
No, it was still bad, but he was not as radical about it or as
No, he wasn't as
incensed.
honest. The mask is off with more with Trump. But
Yes,
the
but
uh, the
also
Democrats didn't make any noise about it when it was Biden doing it.
oh, 100%, but also he wasn't as fervent about it. He didn't give as
No,
much
that's
of a
true.
shit about pursuing it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
ICE was bad under Biden, but like it wasn't his raison d'etre. It wasn't his reason for being
No,
elected.
no, no. That's galls me to suggest that there's anything redeemable about Biden over Trump, but that's
Oh, fuck
it's
no.
they're
It's
you know
just
there's it's a different it's a slightly less foul smelling version of shit. It's still shit.
we're comparing Pinochet to Hitler. Like we're not like
Yeah.
that's the
Negotiating Hitler. Yeah.
yeah, but the last thing I want to say is yeah, I hope that the families have found some sort of way to not forget, but move on from this
Yeah.
and will be able to live as normally as they possibly can. And
Hmm.
that we see people being able to hold people more to account, which I do think we have in recent times.
It's yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So,
We haven't forgotten. We won't forgive. They've never apologized, so fuck them. And yeah, rest in eternal power to those people.
Chucky, our
As they said, Chucky our law, Saoirse Good Joe.